Welcome back to Spirit Squared. I'm Andrew Darrington, your host. Tonight we're here at the Humidor in Tyler, Texas. We're at our 33rd episode, I believe it's 33rd. So grateful to have the Humidor as a sponsor for us. It's a great venue. We've got a lot of people here tonight that are enjoying smokes, and want to appreciate Blake Young or Virginia Young for being sponsors to our podcast, along with the Vault. They're a sponsor for us. We've got Rex Consulting, Red Construction, and we also have Hoop Holler Package Store in Gun Barrel City, who's also a sponsor. If you need any libations for the weekend, go see them. They're so much better than the big package stores. You're going to get great service, one-on-one experience, and great prices and a great selection. So go down there. It's worth the drive from Tyler to go see them. So tonight we've got Smoking Aces Mobile Cigar Lounge. Thanks so much, Cole and Travis, for joining us tonight and to talk about you guys' business.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get started and talking about your business, let's talk a little bit about what we're having to drink here. So I'm having a little bit of the Fiddler. Big props to ASW. Love their brand. It's their double oak. Chad Ralston is a good friend of mine. We've done quite a few picks here in East Texas. Love the Fiddler. And then you guys are having the Yeo Hoven Dia de los Muertos, which is a fun pick. I get a lot of citrus on that one. It's pretty mellow too, so
Perfect timing.
a little starter pack
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so you guys obviously you have normal lives throughout the week, but you guys at some point met during Bourbon Society meetings. Is that right?
You know, Travis and I joke on the top. We have known each other a long time, like all the way back to the high school junior high.
Oh wow. Okay.
And we, to this day, cannot pinpoint when we actually became friends. But you're correct. The Bourbon Society is when we became close.
Yeah.
And started hanging out all the time, and that's actually calling a Bourbon Society meeting where the idea came to fruition for sure. But yeah, that's when we really started hanging out all the time. Eru, Griffith and I started the Bourbon Society.
Right.
It was a spin-off of our fundraiser for One U World of Wonders.
Okay.
It was Bourbon and Bow Ties.
Gotcha.
We've been doing that for a few years, and basically it was people giving us feedback. Hey, this is a once-a-year event. We love it. How do we make this into a monthly deal or quarterly deal?
Right.
And that's when the society really came alive, January 2018.
Okay.
We kicked that off. And
Was there a blueprint that you looked at that was similar to that? Were there Dallas groups that were kind of?
there were definitely probably some out there in 2018. We didn't look at another one go and say, hey, you want to do this. Really for us, and more from, we started having people ask us questions once we had been doing Utahs for 4 or 5 years at this point. They said, oh, you're an aficionado. You know everything there is to know about bourbon. Tell us about this, or what should we do for this event?
Right.
And we realized that we enjoyed it, but we had not done a deep dive on any other distillery other than the Texas ones that are close to the we knew on their part, but other than that, we were still pretty naive, and so that kind of gave us the opportunity to have monthly meetings and do the deep dive, and so it was fun.
How did you learn about talking to Travis here? How did you learn about the Bourbon Society?
So I've been living in Dallas for a little while, and recently moved back, and was supposed to be my day job was bringing a hotel on board with the Hilton in Long Beach.
Okay.
And Cole had reached out and was like, hey, about this cigar. We're starting monthly bourbon tasting pretty much. And I was like, man, that sounds a lot better than trying to cram all the bourbon both nights into one night and not remembering half of the taste.
Right.
Let's
The second half. The second half for sure.
It's a little fuzzy.
Right.
And so I was like, man, that sounds perfect. And trying to find some more brands, I'm moving back, seeing who all was around that had kind of the same similar interests as we did. And that's how I got involved, and I think I've been the first one, and we just kept going from there.
Right.
So
We joked that first year because we didn't really know how to advertise it either, kind of explain what we were doing. And so as we have new people show up,
It's an educational
yeah,
group.
non-educational group for sure.
Right.
We had a guy one time at one of our meetings who, after the second or third tasting, he got up and walked out on his way out the door. He said, "If I wanted to know what color the distiller's underwear were, we'd have just fucking asked." And then he walked out. Kidding. Like, he clearly had no interest in learning about the distillers. He just thought he was up a breed. That's what that's all.
Yeah. The first couple days, first couple meetings, we're kind of feeling out like, what are we doing here? Like, I just want to do some samplings. Or we're doing flights, I'm assuming.
We were doing flights.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we did a lot more blinds than we do now, because one of the things we really wanted to see was, hey, we've got some high-dollar spirits that we're buying for these fundraisers, for these special events. Can people really tell the difference?
Right.
And it was really interesting that first year on a lot of those blinds we did. Man, we do a wild turkey blind fly, and you have to get a scenario that when we pulled that first bag and it had wild turkey on it, that's what we were
I never drink wild turkey.
Right.
That's horrible, and that was one of their first picks. They loved it the best.
My favorite is the old granddad. It's in the batch, and you're like, oh, I hate that stuff. And it's like your top pick.
But you put a second out of 6, like you must not hate it that much.
Yeah.
Take
Or
the label
my
off.
favorite is like, can you find the Blandis? That's my thing. That's my all-time favorite one that we've done, because I've been part of the society for probably 3 years now, 3 or 4. And I was so the group got recognized by a magazine. Which magazine was it? You remember?
is it Gear Patrol?
No. It was bigger than that. It was a national magazine.
Well,
It was
we were in Texas Monthly. We were
Texas Monthly.
We
Yeah.
kind of went on a run there
Yeah.
where we started getting a lot of traction. But a lot of that had to do with we were one of the very few supporters of our Texas distilleries.
Yeah.
When we started Bourbon About Texas, we would ask distilleries to come, show us at the event. We would tell them, hey, look, here's the deal. We're going to pay for your hotel. You tell us what you want us to buy, what you're going to be tasting. We're going to buy it from our local liquor store. And if they don't have it, we're going to make them get it from the proper channels. So all of those early distilleries, they're like, man, no one treats us like this.
Right.
Everybody's making already $2,500 to show up. They bring our product. Don't treat us like royalty. Yeah, we'll do it.
Right.
And that's why our event, all the way through to when I finally kind of retired and turned over the reins, it was always the owners and master distillers from all of these distilleries that were showing up telling their story. And it was for that reason. Was, we treated them.
And that was 28, that was kind of the time where distilleries started growing in Texas, where you started seeing an explosion of distillers, especially in our kind of backyard, that were kind of trying to start it, make it. You had the Balcones, then you had Garrison Brothers. That was kind of it for a while, but you started seeing a lot of breaking ground. Witherspoons was coming up, and all those guys.
Yeah, and back then, this is back 2013, 2014, even Garrison Brothers, they were fighting the fight. We're telling them, oh, well, you're not bourbon because you're not from Kentucky. They were, in their first couple of years, doing a lot of education on, hey, look, yes, you can make bourbon in Texas. Yes, this is a good selling product. But it was great. We were enjoying those first few years. We became close friends with Donis and Dan down here, and a lot of the guys at Balcones. And we got to see things that other people didn't. Again, just because we supported them before you were easily.
Yeah, our first podcast was with a guy who was like a historian for Balcones. He got to tell the story of kind of the fallout, rebuild, and all that good stuff. They have a cult following. I mean, you either love them or you're kind of on the fence all about it, or you hate them. I mean, it's a very unique product, but it's worldwide, like loved, especially their single malt products. And we're blessed to have so much distilling happening in Texas. And really great products too. I hate that Lone Elk. Hopefully they get rebranded and somebody buys it and they get the rolling again.
you know, we used to talk about in those first 2 years, doing a lot of those blinds. The one product that you could always pick out of the crowd was Garrison Reach. And, you know, they were the only Texas bourbon at any bar you go to around here. And when you would order it, you could immediately tell them it was crisp run or were they trying to push salt in some way. And I think that that's something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, for sure. A lot. It's pretty robust, and it's always got good smoke to it. You know, the only thing about it now is that the price point. A lot of people like, hey, there's a lot more options. So that's why they created the honeydew and some other things that they're trying. And everybody's got it, especially this year. You're starting to see a lot of ingenuity for different products. You know, trying to do the Amarana. You're trying to do the honey. You're doing double oak. Us fiddlers doing it in. People's ranges are so wide now because there's so many different offerings. Texas, probably one of the biggest states as far as, other than Kentucky, obviously, to offer. I think Texas probably number 2.
Well, and so my sweet wife and I, we kind of hit the road those first couple of years when we were doing the fundraiser, and we drove to every single distillery. Because you imagine, it's like anything else. You got a letter, hey, please come out, or you pick up a phone call, you're going to talk to the right person. So we just started showing up at distilleries, and man, it was awesome to go make that little Texas road trip before, you know, the Texas Whiskey Trail even became a thing. But I think what was so neat for us at the time was seeing how different every single distillery was and how the region affected the flavor. And, you know,
The water they use,
everything. Yeah, and it wasn't just one size fits all on the process or AG guy. You look at, we went to one and we rolled up and they've got everything out there in the shipping container behind the warehouse. You know, it's like, hey, whatever works.
right? And you still at this,
Yeah, absolutely.
and your grades are here.
How much for this one?
Right. I mean, there were parts of like Buffalo Trace and where they're doing open mash, and I didn't think they would do that big of a risk. So I'm asking the tour guide, I'm like, hey, what's up with this? Huge fat, huge. What do you have? Some Canadian geese fly by? They're like, well, it just goes in it. It's done. So I mean, it's
Guinness effect.
yeah, it's all over, man. It's all over the place. I've been to a bunch of different distilleries too. I've been Houston, South Texas, and it's just people that I love visiting distilleries, talking to the master distiller, and versus the sales rep.
Right.
You know, because they're going to give you the gates, and you're going to get to see the logs, and you're going to get to see the grains they use, and you're going to see the mash, and the passion. And they all have quirks, and they all kind of like doing their own thing. And a lot of them don't like talking about future projects or, what's the next thing? No, I'm doing what I'm doing just fine. So and we've been on a couple of field trips together to different places. Still awesome.
That to this day, I would say, was one of my biggest surprises.
Yeah.
I hate to say that I was prejudging a little. We're walking into a Austin distillery of what this was going to look like. And it was a newer distillery.
Industrial compound.
Industrial compound, absolutely. And I will tell you, they did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Every single person at that distillery was so much. At the same time, you've got 3 or 4 people, leading the crew and guiding the ship, but then the trickle down effect is not there.
Right.
Everyone we talked to that day knew what was going on and knew what they were talking about. So it was a fun trip.
And true, grain class, like pounding their own grains on site, which was really cool. It is going to their bottling area. I mean, they do everything, which was pretty awesome. And Garrison Brothers is right there with it. But other than that, I hadn't really seen that type of thoroughness. And then you have, key players like Nancy involved, and they really did it right when they rolled it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you talk about the thoroughness. I mean, to this day, Donnie Safari, he's got that book, All the Water that he has sampled. And anyone who says that they've got better water than he's got right there, he'll come up, so he'll do water samples. He will challenge anybody out there if they're trying to say that their limestone water or whatever kind of water in their reach is better than what we've got in that part of Texas. So it's a passion.
I think Kippersall has some pretty interesting water that they like. If you've heard the story about like how they found the vein of water that wasn't supposed to be there, but what's there, kind of just searching around, almost like fracking. Found the vein, and then I can't remember his name. He tasted. He's not with us anymore. Yeah. He tastes it, and he's like, "This is it. This is it. This is what we're going to use." And I think their product is pretty unique. I'm a big fan of it. They're a backyard too.
And a beautiful venue.
Yeah, for sure.
They were one of the first ones.
It's an adult flavor for sure.
And they were one of the first ones that started their own distributor, with the three-tier system. They PLRF and Madison Company. Not a lot of people know this, but our first Tyler Bourbon Society chapter president was Jeremy Dealer, who was the guy who actually did that for Pierre. So he worked out there and kind of handled their sales, and then he's the one that they're tasked with starting a separate company to. They didn't feel like they were getting representation in the liquor stores they needed, so they started the new company to start pushing the product, and then now Jacob's one of the guys at Greenlight.
Okay.
So,
and Raylene did that too, down at close to East. They started their own distribution as well. Yeah, I like visiting there because it's not a whiskey, it's more of a rum. But they do great products. Again, we're blessed. We can beat this nail pretty hard. And come up with anecdotes of why the justification's there for us having such a great time. Let's talk about barrel pits a little bit before we get into the nuts and bolts of you guys while you're here, because we're kind of talking a little bit about like how we know each other and some of the things that you've done prior to this project. So let's talk about barrel picks. Is that
while we're talking about it, I guess I need to.
Yeah. This is one of our barrel picks. This is a JT Mellick. Shout out to Mia with JT Mellick. Love her. She's been on the podcast before. It's an all rice whiskey. So basically, they took a crawfish field, a rice field, and they harvest the rice and make a whiskey. A beautiful whiskey, really. To be there's some barrel picks that they've done that stack up against the big boys from Kentucky for sure. This is a pick that I don't know if you were there or not. Were you there?
I don't remember.
We were at McClellan's house and his old house, which was a former mayor or one of the representatives' big house, and we were at the big table. And Mia comes in and brings samples. And it was set up really nice because they had the barrels lined out. And it's the most people I've ever had sample with me for a barrel pick.
In all three chapters.
Right, all three chapters were involved. Yeah. I remember a lot of people, there was a lot of commentation, but it was very uniform. We all agreed on the barrel, which makes it very easy. Because you can have dissension amongst four people. I think we had probably 15 to 20 people.
Yeah, there's probably 15 people there, and I think every single person was surprised that was there trying it for the first time. Man, I did not expect this rice whiskey to taste like this. Nobody thought that flavor was going to be that bold.
Right.
And all the different barrels that we tried, there was a lot of variations, and I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a great product. Luckily, being from Louisiana, I had some exposure to it, and luckily I was able to get connected and found Mia. She does a great job with her social media too. I don't know if you've ever seen any of her stuff, but she does some great stuff.
Bourbon Society. Flight with us.
Did she? Oh, sweet. Okay. Very cool. So let's talk about barrel picks real quick. What was the first barrel pick that you guys did Bourbon Society-wise?
So I think the very first one we did was a tall when it was still in Great Rock.
Yeah.
So,
Chief.
That's right.
Chief Gatto.
And we did that in honor of us adding our Nacogdoches chapter.
Yeah.
And so that's our third installment of the Bourbon Society. And so for you who don't know the story of Chief Gatto, the Caddo Indians had a tradition that basically, if the chief had more than one sellout, they would fight to the death. And whoever came out alive would beat the next chief in the Caddo Nation. And so for the first time, the chief came to the tribe and said, whoever dies, whoever doesn't live for this fight, our tribe is going to lose our second most fiercest warrior. We cannot afford to lose these two ones. Yeah, for the first time ever, we've got two true natural born leaders here, incredible warriors. I have a proposition. I suggest that we divide the tribe. One brother will take one tribe and walk a day, the other brother will take the other tribe and walk a day. One son was named Nacogdoches, one son was named Nacogdoches. Obviously, our third chapter is in Nacogdoches, right west out in Texas. To this day, any lumberjack will tell you one of our biggest rivals. We had the largest trophy in any sport in the world that got traded on an annual basis. It was our totem pole. Remember when the football game every year, the totem pole, Chief Gatto, and we go back and forth between two universities.
Stephen Austin.
That's correct.
And who else?
In Northwestern.
I know what. Got that.
Which Nacogdoches is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Town as well. Two incredible tiny little towns that are just absolute gems. But yeah, so we started the third chapter in Nacogdoches, and I love seeing how all three of our chapters are a little different on the makeup.
Yeah.
And I think it's so fun now that our third chapter has its own cigar lounge.
Yeah.
One of probably the coolest meeting places.
I agree. 100%. I need to get over there to do that.
Big leather chairs. Now I will tell you, we did play a prank on all the new members that are going for a while, because it's right downtown, but there's a back alley entrance that looks kind of seedy.
Yeah.
And so we used to tell them that there was this certain knock, and it was a real loud made up knock.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd show up. and
An easy knock.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can always tell the new members were coming in.
I love that. So you guys do Chief Gatto, and then I think I know what the second one is, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive.
You remember what number
Listen here. One of my favorite picks of all time, all of East Texas, Axe and Oak, Fight Club,
Yes.
was an absolute smasher. I have lined that up against some big picks and blinded it, and it crushes. There's not many out there anymore. Luckily, I have one open, one sealed. It's one of those that I have to hide from myself because I will drink all of it. It is so good. I don't know how it was picked.
You would tell him how we used to twist Jason's arm.
Oh, okay.
So Jason used to come in and help us all the time.
Okay.
And he would always bring just a random bottle
Yes.
with some brown water in there.
Oh, yeah.
Mystery juice.
I have one at home.
Yeah.
He's like,
That he
here,
gave
try
me
this.
that. He
Do
was
you
like-
like it before I tell you what's in
He
it?
was like, hey, this one was done on my stove, so just give me a heads up. Like,
So
I covet that bottle.
after probably a year of hiking, we finally were like, Jason, all right, what's the deal? What have you been bringing us? And he said, well, we've only made 8 barrels the first year.
Yeah.
And obviously with 8 barrels, for us to kind of project out on what our spirit's going to look like at the aging process, we can't get rid of them because they all taste completely different. And we want to see what direction they're going to go. And like they're really a science project for us.
Yeah.
And
Him and his brother, right?
well, so his brother was in the Texas one.
Okay.
So
yes,
Colorado.
he's in Colorado.
He's a Colorado.
Yeah.
So that one he did with a group of buddies up there.
Okay.
And we finally just told him, Jason, dude, the next time you come down, we're just going to tell everyone on your high school if you don't give us one of these 8 barrels. So he let us do the tasting, and it was ridiculous. It was just not like this one. Every single person picked barrel number 7.
Oh.
That unique flavor,
Such a crusher.
that mouthfeel, and you could pick it out of a crowd any time, and it was that same way. Everyone agreed.
Yeah.
So funny story with this though. I volunteered to go up there and pick it up,
Okay.
and
I've done something like this before.
one of our buddies had moved from Longview. One of our early first members of the Urban Society had moved up here to the Springs. And so Kendall and I planned a trip where we go up there and stay with them, hang out for a few days, and then on the way up to town, we're going to pick up the barrel and all the bottles. So we do it. Whole trip went smooth. It was great. Everything's wonderful. As we're coming back across state lines in Texas, I tell my wife, hey, just want to let you know, we may or may not be over the legal amount of alcohol one person can have coming back in the
Across
state of
the state
Texas.
line.
So if we actually get pulled over, you better just tell that officer that you were so excited when we found his barrel, so we brought the physical barrel that is strapped to the back of her Nissan Armada in a rack. You just told him that we were antiquing and you fell in love with this barrel. It's going to look great in our living room.
Yeah.
And hopefully he will miss the 220 bottles right back there in the back of the car that we're sitting like this.
Yeah. I've done that. And it's it's okay to do it as long as you prove that it's not for personal consumption. So
We have a list.
yeah, if you have a list, then you're good. You're good. I mean, I've covered that. Trust me, because I had to do that a couple times with barrels that we did with the whiskey club that didn't distribute to Texas. Like, they just didn't distribute. They were that Fiddler was one of them. Tumbling Dice was another one. So they delivered it to Louisiana. Go pick it up, my hometown, pay for it, and then have a list and bring it back. So I mean, it's legit.
And and that's why we had Jimmy and I tasting 2 months ago. Kind of talk.
Yeah.
What's it like as a distributor? Sure. Can you elaborate on the 3-tier system? Because
Yeah.
it's so interesting that we've got that law in Texas, but so many other states don't. Colorado, even around in the neck, we could just buy a trick.
Kentucky being another one too. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, any other picks that we did Bone Out, or we did the Spy versus Spy, which is pretty cool. Were you at that one? I know I was because I left pretty happy.
Jennifer Wiggins was with us.
Jennifer was there.
Shannon was there.
Daniel was there. Yvonne was there.
Yeah, Kendall was with us.
Yeah. Yep. That was a fun one. They really did a good job on that too. And it was like we were tasting from the barrel. They were thieving from the barrel.
Yeah.
And it was, wasn't it like a 20-gallon barrel or 15-gallon? It wasn't small.
Yeah,
And that's why we did it in the 375s. It was such a fun pick to do too. Because you're sitting there in the distillery thieving from the barrel, and it's going to be a pit. And I just thought that was so much fun. And then we got access to the Still Austin, which ended up being a girls' pig, like I can't remember what they're called, babes pig or whatever. But I mean, part of the reason we got access is because we went and visited. They weren't even doing barrel pigs at the time. And I just remember going, "Hey, put us on the list." Put us on the list.
We did a balcony.
Oh yeah, we did balconies. That one went through Heritage.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
Yeah.
That's the one that I wrecked my car. You had that thing, weren't you? Yeah. Yeah, backed into their mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had my car for like 5 days and backed it into their mailbox. $4,000 for the damage. It wasn't due to the tasting.
Completely unrelated.
Yeah, it was not related.
They just put those random mailboxes around.
Yeah. Oh, they put a mailbox in the middle of the parking lot. Keep telling her all the time, like, what in the world? But I learned that the mailbox was stronger than the car that night. So I was picking up the. Oh man.
Well, and I tell you, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about our trip to Denison, Texas. That was probably one of the first Boone City trips.
Yeah.
And, when we went down there, I don't think anyone in the group really had any kind of expectations for how it was going to go. They had basically just kind of promised us, hey, y'all come by and we're going to do a tasting tomorrow.
For the listeners, what distillery are you talking about?
Harvick. Good. This is going to be one of those cuts we're going to have to cut.
Yeah.
Because
I was over
Denison is his Iron Root?
Iron Root.
Yes.
Yes. right.
So we did like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, no, but Ironbrew was the key. So
Was
Yeah.
the destination.
was the destination, yes. So the brothers had invited us down to come see Ironbrew. Yes, they had invited us down to come see the distillery because we had done a tasting with them, and they're like, "Hey, anytime you want to come."
Right.
So we booked an Airbnb that could house. I don't know.
Bunch.
Yeah,
A
there
bunch
was
of
probably
people.
20 of us in that
Yeah.
house. I don't know how many.
Don't know how
We're
many
supposed to
we're
be
supposed
in
to
that house,
Yeah.
but we went down there and had an absolute blast, and it was one of those that they started us off with old fashions and Bloody Marys,
Yeah, sure.
and then by the end of the night, they literally would let us try any barrel in their distillery that we wanted to try, any barrel. And there came a point where I told Rob, I was like, "Hey, dude, I can't. I know you're describing what we're tasting here, but my mouth is numb at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
We're doing this spirit of disservice by
Right.
letting me drink it at this point. But it was incredible. Those guys know their stuff. Absolutely fun distillery. But
I've got Shannon coming on again to just talk about Iron Brew, which will be really, really fun. And we'll probably do we do a live deal up in Mineola.
Yep.
At the back in the hotel. If you've ever been there, I know about it. And it's fun. It's a great venue. We do it in like a big ballroom, and we have music and kind of do like a 15-minute segment, and we kind of have time to kind of pass samples around. And it's all the distillers I've had on the podcast have loved it. Bia was one of them where I played Louisiana music during the 15 little breaks, 5-10 minute breaks. So gives them opportunity to kind of mingle with the crowd. I normally have the sponsors come on, but occasionally I'll have people show up. We'll do like a charcuterie board. Sorry I didn't roll out that red carpet for you, but
That's all right.
this is just as fun. I mean, all right, so boom, we're in 2018, and you guys are at a Bourbon Society meeting, right?
that's correct. So,
And you're like, hey, let's start a business.
So I had actually gone down to Austin and did a rolling class.
Rolling class.
Yeah, I was getting into cigars. I was
Oh,
getting
rolling cigars.
Yeah, rolling cigars, rolling
I
class.
just pictured you like peddling a bar or something, like you do up in Nashville. A rolling
but,
class.
So I went down there to one of our providers and did an actual cigar rolling class. It was a day long, and they actually had me on their website as rolling on their stuff, talking about the class and everything to
Yeah,
say.
that's cool.
And I came back and I was sharing that with Andrew Griffith and Cole, and we had just got done with one of our flights. There was actually Blanton's in this flight, and so we couldn't let that just go to waste.
Right.
And we were sitting out back, tailgate of the truck. I had pulled out some of the cigars that I'd rolled.
keep in mind, since you were talking about the blends earlier, this was still
The original.
when blends, we always like to talk. You can tell the distinguishing. The old one had a oily
Yeah.
mouthfeel that would
Yes.
sit on your palate, and that's as you said earlier, that's what you're missing to this day.
Sure.
On not saying about now, but you could tell back then it was so viscous and it would just sit on your palate. Absolutely incredible, and that's what started that. I'm like, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm passing these out to Cole and Andrew. We're sitting there after a very successful flight, and we see a food truck roll through right in front of Heritage Wine and Spirits where we were doing the meetings first. And Cole actually looks to Andrew and myself, and Andrew was a food consultant at Cisco at the time, and I bet that guy just made a killing something. And holding one hand with bourbon, one hand with a cigar, and he's like, we should do something like that. And me and Andrew both look at him, not really realizing that he's looking and having this moment of putting the bourbon and the cigars together.
Food truck.
Yeah, and both of us are like, no, not a food truck. That's horrible. Let's stay away from that. He's like, no, these. And he looks at us and he's holding both of those. And we're like, oh, yes.
And it's kind of ironic. contributing factors to our idea was so hot in Texas, we thought out, man, if you're at downtown live and you're out there sweating, if there is a mobile bar that's air conditioned, you can walk in, get a cocktail, smoke a cigar, dude, everybody's gonna be banging out in there. And to this day, that has been our biggest struggle with our restaurant. Let's cook in that sucker.
1974 Airstream with just tons of baking heat in it. That AC just is struggling.
Yeah. So you guys are out of meeting. You guys start talking about it. How did it get legs? How did it start?
Andrew, I'm glad you asked. No, so next thing we know, so we're talking about this after a meeting, as with most great ideas. We've been
After a
all
flight.
night. Yes,
Yeah,
we're
flight.
working all night.
Yeah, and a tester before the flight started. So
Right,
we,
for sure.
you know,
Yeah,
we already
get the
had
palate
the juices
warm,
going.
right?
Yeah, can't be blown out of flying palate.
So we'll let the audience peek behind the curtain here. So you asked me earlier, for notes and do we prepare. Unfortunately, I'm an off the cuff kind of guy. So most part of our society, I can regurgitate information just like that. So before every society meeting we have, I'll consume mass amounts of information right before the meeting, so then I can regurgitate it and tell the stories. So keep in mind, from about 4, I had been drinking, and this is probably about 9:30 that night, and this excellent idea came to fruition. And Travis and I thought it'd be a great idea to just go buy an Earstream and not tell our wives. And so,
Mind you, Cole had a, I don't know, hold myself 5-month-old at this time. Yeah. When we decided that it was time to actually launch this into full blown, actually going to it instead of just thinking about it. And it was July 4th. And we drove up. I found one on Marketplace, this Airstream.
So what's the timeline between epiphany and purchase?
So, Bourbon Society started about January in Longview, and probably
he's later that year. It was still full outside.
so probably March, April maybe.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
Before the heat actually kicked in, and we were looking around vintage Airstreams and cheap Airstreams.
So
you were looking at
exclusively for Airstream.
vintage
They
trailers.
have the look of
Yeah.
class.
Exactly.
Yeah, so keep in mind, so now people use Airstreams for all these mobile bars and things.
Yeah.
When Travis and I did this, there was only 2 other mobile cigar companies in the U.S. They both were using Airstreams at the time, and we did not know about either one, unfortunately. That would have made our life a whole lot easier.
So Longview, Texas also has Shivers, which is a natural snow cone
Oh yes.
place, and they're getting huge traction now. They're up at Jerry World. They have a trailer up there. They've kind of actually stepped back on their Airstream locations. They have one in their foyer at their location, but they're out there, and so they've been going for a long time. And so that was one of the funny things that we still get today is, oh, sure, get out here at this music venue or this and that or whatever, and these kids run up like they're about to get a snow cone, and we're like, hey kid, sorry, it's 18 and up, and 21 and up, yeah, 21 and up, all changed now, yeah, and so they're like, hey, we thought y'all were shippers. Well, we appreciate it, but no, we're a little different than you.
But yeah, so we're looking for specifically an Airstream. We were watching a few of them, and this particular one, Travis had on our list that we were watching, and it dropped from 15 grand up to 100 grand. And so Travis and I opened the truck immediately. We're like, that's a big swing. Most of the ones we're looking at are in that $15,000-$20,000 range.
That may drop $1,000 or $2,000, but this one,
Right.
60%.
Motivated seller.
Yeah.
So we thought. Yeah. So Travis and I ran out there. How far away was it?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Show up at this guy's house. We're here to see your Airstream. We look it over. And we're like, I think we can work with this. Here's $5 grand. And the guy's like, $5 grand?
What the heck are you talking about?
I posted it to 15,000. And we pull it up and show it to him.
And he is pissed.
Yeah.
His grandson had got on there and dropped the price to get it out of the yard.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. So I thought it was a no-go. I was like, well, just wasted all this time. Right? And he's like, you know what? It's been sitting here this long. Y'all drove all the way up here. Cheers.
Hitching up.
Yeah.
Wow, what a big score.
Yeah. We thought. Now, so when we were doing this, we going through this demolition. When we bought it, the only thing that was not functional from 1974 was the front nose. And looking at the
A lot of
schematic,
dings, dents, stuff like that. Or?
you know, the shell didn't have too many dings. There was one window that was missing that had some trash pad over it, but he had the window. He hadn't riveted back on. So that was one of the things that we fixed first. Got it a little more watertight.
Yeah.
But the table up front had been ripped out, but he was getting ready to either demo it all out or something.
Yeah, you were going to demo it anyway.
We didn't care. So, you know, whatever. We get in there and yellow shag carpet from 1974 was still there on the floor.
Right.
And it was just rank.
Yeah.
I mean, it hadn't had me love in decades.
Right.
So we start ripping everything out, and we hired some extra help to help, you know, do the brunt work while we're pulling some stuff out, and they're over there just yanking away and moving it around, and we go all the way down to the skeleton.
Right.
And we're like, we're going to go up from the bones up,
Yeah, for sure.
and not knowing that we probably should have kept some of the skins.
Yeah,
We didn't
for
have
insulation.
Yeah, we didn't have any records or plans or anything to go off of.
Right.
When you're remodeling an Airstream.
Curved walls. Keep in
Yeah,
mind,
for sure.
completely different than just
Oh, yeah.
going in studs.
100%.
Yeah, and so those skins that we took off were metal. And we went through probably, if I say 100, we're lying. Way under of what we actually went through drill bits, drilling out rivets inside this Airstream, taking it all out.
Every 3 inches, there's a rivet.
Yeah.
And so we're drilling them out. And there was multiple times where Travis and I, we finished working that day and we got, dang, we finally got this thing completely demoed. And then we'd realize, so like, the first
great
one
one.
obviously is we got everything out of it and we're down to that metal skin.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, we're done. This is a breeze.
Yeah,
That's
spray
all.
painted, we're gold.
Yeah. And then we realized, oh dang, we gotta get the wall out to come back in with wooden walls.
Yeah.
And that's when we did all those rivets that
Yeah.
probably took us, I don't know, 2 months worth of
Yeah.
every single night after work with, you know, drinks in there, just
Bricks, drills, yeah.
Wow.
And then we were like, oh well, now the sides look great. We're starting from bare bones, and then we looked down and the subfloor was just like,
Yeah.
oh well, now we got to take that up.
That's for sure what I thought at first.
Yeah.
Like subfloors.
And with RVs, what do you carry around with you? You carry around water and gray water tanks.
Yeah.
And so
a 60-year-old shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and baked in there.
Oh, I bet it was.
Yeah, and so it took a hot minute.
The only way to get that out, by the way, was to
Take it out.
with a saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
We're having to cut into
Yeah.
that because it's made into the
Inside the
frame.
frame.
So to get that plastic hand that's been holding all the
Yeah. Excrement.
instrument,
Yeah.
absolutely. We get in there with saws on. That's probably the least favorite part of that whole thing.
I can see why.
Yeah.
So then we get everything ripped out, and then we start looking at the outside. And we're like, well, it's dull. You know, there was a tree hanging over it whenever we picked it up. And
Yeah, sure.
The clear coat on top of this.
You gotta shine it, baby.
Yeah, we were like, oh, well, we got to shine
gotta
it. We
look
got to
good.
take the clear coat off.
We're in Texas, baby.
And we tried taking the clear coat off for about 2 days, and we were like, this has got nice patina.
I remember we did it by hand when we finally figured out the process, and we got one down, and it took both of us working on that one panel for like 6 hours.
Then we started sobering up. We're like, no,
This ain't gonna work.
this, you know,
We need some hired help to do this.
yeah.
So keep in mind, at some point in this whole process that is taking us months, I still had enough to on wife. And
Airstreams at my house. We're doing it all at my place.
yeah,
Just
there's a lot of trips to Travis's house right after work. Right?
Yeah.
So we're on vacation, and I start pitching the idea of a mobile cigar lounge to my family, and my wife's like,
There's a lot of details, Cole. You don't normally think about the details.
and as you said, when
Yeah,
we
you're
started this
fly by
deal,
night.
as you said when we started this deal, we both have actual careers.
Right.
So for a whole other business to come on board at this point, and my wife's like,
And a
no.
less than a year old bourbon society is also
Right.
running.
Yep.
And small
And a
channel.
less year old,
Yeah.
20-year-old
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's like, it's not the right
Not the
price.
price.
Yeah, and then
Sorry.
To which my sister shows her a picture of the Airstream, and that did not go over good. My wife was not a happy camper.
Typically, hiding those things from a wife is it's gonna explode at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that gray water shitter.
Exactly.
Just like that.
That's exactly how I went over.
It was
Yeah.
probably the same.
Yeah.
Bacon, crap.
Yep.
There were probably some choice words used
There
during
were.
that conversation. Hopefully behind closed doors.
No, absolutely not. Right there with the family on the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you having a great time, honey?
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry. We saved 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, my family's used to my shenanigans, so they're like, oh man, this is
That sounds like some shit I would do. 100%.
Another one.
Yeah, like, where did this barrel show? Oh, I don't know.
heck of a deal.
Yeah, man. Somebody gave it to me. It's in our garage. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about
We'll tap into it a little bit.
for decoration.
And I will say, a lot of guys have wives that will go on shopping sprees. And, there's like an arsenal of shit you can just throw back in your face. Unfortunately, my wife is not like that. She's one of the rare, just like easygoing,
Yeah.
happy with life. So yeah, there was nothing I could throw back at her. It was just a pasture and move on.
So when Nicole came back from the family came back from vacation, and he did not come over to help me for a month or two. I was in detention. Yeah, I had to go like, hey man, like, this is a lot of stuff.
Hey, you're 50% of this.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Right.
And he was like, yeah, about that. I had to tell my wife, and I was like, what?
Why'd you do that? Well, she was going to find out eventually.
Yeah, I thought it would have gone up.
I'm going to Travis. Yeah, well, start suspecting something else.
I was hoping
I got put on the naughty list too, and I was like,
Oh, I bet you did.
I was hoping she could find out when it was done, so then it could be like, oh, it's this
finished
cool.
product.
Yeah, absolutely. But our 2-week reno did not work out like we thought it would. So as we said, it turned into months. Fast forward to the very end of the reno. We're getting close with it. You know what? Hey, it's probably time we're gonna start booking events. Like, we're double playing with this saying, let's get some events on the calendar.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're jumping way ahead.
Yeah.
You're
Cart
Okay. All right.
cart out of the barn before the horses.
right.
wake up.
So, like, we get the demo. Okay. You tell your wife, which is a great story. And now Travis is on the outs. He's 2 months in. He's asking you, like, what's going on? All right, well, that's great. You got to build something out first.
That's fair. That's
Okay,
fair.
so what did that look like, and what were some of the things that you guys considered when you started building this out? Because I'm sure you were standing in there going, all right, well, we can smoke here, we can go there.
What would be on your list? If you were doing this, what would be on your list?
Number one, air conditioning. You know that. You got to have some ventilation, right, of some kind. There has to be some displays because you got to make it feel cool, of some kind, like either like a humidor in some kind somewhere. Is there a restroom?
No restroom.
No restroom.
We ripped those tanks out, remember?
That's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You got to have some loungers, some space for that. Probably enough for maybe 4 people. Or if you could fit it, great.
So we're also in the south. So what's important for a large majority of the year? If we're going to an event and it's heavily driven towards guys,
In the fall.
we gotta have some TVs for the game.
TVs, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, which means you gotta have a satellite or something like that.
And
You
then,
gotta have a reservoir for ice, maybe.
and you don't want people looking in.
Or
You don't want people looking in. Yeah, so
Oh, reflective.
we gotta get all the windows tinted out.
Ah,
And so we went through a couple different helpers.
Yeah, well,
Fleshing out
I was
inside.
gonna say, let's get to the plan real quick. Though.
Okay.
We were checking all the same boxes that any normal guy would say. If we're gonna do this, we gotta have, as you say, very first thing, we gotta have AC, we gotta have ventilation. Those were the easy things to figure out. What we're
Curved walls going up helps with ventilation. There's already vent fans up there. We upgrade those. We upgrade the AC to something this century. And we just start trying to figure out where we want to stand, where we want people to sit, what our occupancy we really kind of want. And then we start looking at different colors of different things. Do we want new floor? Do we want carpet? Do we want different things like that? We start just picking and pulling and seeing what we can get.
So we come to the conclusion that we want, when you walk in, wrap around seating at the front, wrap around seating at the back.
yes.
The humidor is going to be, when you walk in, you can see that. That's the focal point. Gratefully, my father-in-law was a cabinet guy, so he made us a beautiful
Inch thick cedar, glass top humidor, sword underneath. Beautiful.
And then we, as Travis said, we felt like, all right, we're going to be entertaining and serving, so we need a bar of some sort. What's that going to look like? It's going to be big, it's going to be small. So we decided, since we got wraparound seating both ends, let's do a granite bar right down the middle that basically people can check out the humidor, either sit in the front or sit in the back, but they can stand at this bar while we're cutting, while we're lighting. It's going to be an experience.
Yeah, it's speakeasy.
Yeah, and we'll probably even have so many customers in this thing that we'll need to have a private area in the back where people can hang out, not have to worry about coming in and out. So let's put a wall at the back of this granite bar. It can't be closed off. We put the TV behind there so there's somewhere to hang the TV. It'll kind of enclose that back area for private hangouts or whatever they want to do if they need to conduct business. So we're thinking multiple different avenues of cigar lounges.
Sure.
And we rock and roll with that, get that up and running.
And we Heritage, the Patel brothers were kind of getting into their design and build phase of that. So we reached out to Initial and were like, hey, you've got the software for CAD programs and some of this stuff. How would you feel about kind of putting our vision into the CAD program and bringing life to it? So we got him when we're doing this, and Initial was great. Initial actually helped whip up the design and everything that we threw at him, he was able to put in there. And then he turned us on to one of his guys that helped finish out his main store there. They had just finished the liquor store, and Zach had done a lot of the project work in there, so he brought him in to kind of help us with some of the nuances. And he was the one who actually figured out the bending board. So through this whole process, Travis and I, we're not afraid of building anything, but we never took into consideration how are we going to bend wood.
Curve.
Yeah. How are we going to curve
That skin that we shouldn't have thrown away, but we did. How do we get past that now?
Right.
So there's a special wood called bendy board that it allows the wood bends in one direction, and so it allowed us to replace all our metal skin with that wooden skin, so that we could paint it whatever color we wanted, hang stuff on the wall if we wanted to, and that really gave the Airstream its life.
Yeah.
We finished that whole thing out. We've got the TV at the front, TV at the back. When it's sports season, you do have the satellite that we can set up, play games. When it's not sports season, they have the USB port, so we can do wedding pictures if we're at a wedding. We can do advertisement for an event. But the last hurdle in the build out was right over the front and back windows. Not only is it's not just curving in one direction, it's the cone at the cap.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of curve to that. Bendy board is just not going to do it. It's not going to solve that problem. And we knew that it was going to be the anchor at both ends, and we wanted it to be a focal point, so we wanted to do something cool. So at one point we thought,
Cole said, hey, we need copper income.
that's sexy second on look, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Until we got the quote back on it.
They're
and
like-
one end was more expensive than the original Airstream was going to be.
Right.
And we were like, let's back up and put.
Right. How about nickel?
Yeah.
Or how
yeah.
about,
yeah.
you know, aluminum that looks like copper?
So we finally settled on. We wanted that dark mahogany theme in there. We wanted to feel like it was.
Yeah, sure.
And so we decided, you know what, we're just gonna make this wall ourselves out of basically wood scraps to make it where it feels like you're just like walking through the woods, smoking a cigar, and it was really cool in theory. And then when you think about you're placing all these little pieces of wood together on a curved structure, and you're
With metal as the backing and nothing to really anchor to.
yeah.
You had to get really creative on how to get it to stay there. Because then you're also going to be running 70 miles an hour down the coast road. And so,
A lot of glue.
We try everything, dog. We try.
Cement.
Yeah, we tried the cement glue. We tried.
expanding foam as just to help.
No, at one point we finally just ripped everything back down and then came in and put
Strips of benny board around the studs.
and metal plates in there that we could screw stuff through, and that's finally what got it to where it is today. However, every trip, Travis or I make sure that we've got some nail guns on hand to replace any arms people did 80 miles an hour down I-20. So now can I tell the story of the first event? Are we there yet?
If you let me ask one question. How long did it take from when you purchased it to the final product?
I think the first event was November. So,
It's almost a year,
yeah.
right?
Now,
You said April.
July.
You bought it in
We
July.
bought it in July.
Finished it.
First of July. Late November, I think.
Yeah, so 5 months. But keep in mind, we went into this thing in 2 weeks.
We thought it
2
would only
weeks.
take 2 weeks.
We really thought.
Oh, you were budgeting 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were going to take off from work, spend 2 weeks working on this, just do it, knock it out, be done, get on the road, get it rolling, no big deal. And then quickly when we got into the demo, we realized this isn't going to happen in 2 weeks, so we better start planning for long term, you know. Yeah, so we booked a birthday.
Before it was finished.
Sounds like a cold move.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you gotta have a deadline that you put everybody up against, and then once you make it
Study for the test, not just study in general.
Right.
So Jeremy Cox was not nice enough to be on our first booking, and I'm embarrassed to say
Havana's birthday.
yeah, Havana birthday party, very cool.
Havana, Cuba. A Cuba themed birthday party.
Yep. And again, at that time, cigars are they have not made the term like that. You know, there's a lot of venues that we were going to in our first 3 years that would tell us, you can't come here, we don't allow smoking. We're like, no, but we're cigars. We're not going to be cigarette butts thrown out in the grass. We had to fight that same battle that we'd seen all these Texas distilleries fight, right? But so for this event, a Havana-themed birthday party was pretty ritual at this point. No one's doing it. So they booked us for the birthday. We're going to basically pull up in the driveway and be the surprise when he rolls in. And unfortunately, we are...
We need to take a break.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I just took a piece.
Oh,
No, yeah, we can take a break.
Okay, I'll be right back.
we'll take a break.
Yeah, we can just start that slide.
I should have asked.
No, yeah.
I should have asked everybody.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, that's great. Great content. Yeah, whoa. Great story.
What did they say?
Yeah. So
You don't put any on YouTube yet?
yeah, I think we have probably 20 on YouTube out of the 33. I mean, it's a pretty arduous project to put on YouTube. With there's a lot of defracking you have to do.
Some antigens, ADHDs.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's gold.
I send him. I'll send him a text like, "Hey, we're at episode 20 something," like, and I've got people asking like, Daniel's wife has the mortgage house next door, and so we had them on. And her partner Terry is, she's a pit bull, man. She's like gets after it, very intense. Like she's great, really good at her job. And Marquis kind of she's very reserved, and so had to get a couple drinks flowing for her to kind of open it up. But she's very technical. Like she's very into the laws and into how to bridge gaps and create like these plans and stuff like that. Well, anyway, like we get done. Go ahead and pull that tube trap.
Well, I'll go with you too. So we
Oh,
have
okay.
stop. Might as well not.
We get done. She's like, "Where's the YouTube?" Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you're gonna get Spotify. That'll be your audio. But now it's gonna probably take about 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so she was tapping like every couple weeks, like, "Where's it at?" I've got people asking.
Especially if there's cuts in
I
there.
get it.
It's
Yeah.
and look, I tell you, if you don't make that iron route go smooth, they're gonna kill me on that. So,
Oh yeah.
what was their name again?
Yeah. No. It'll work.
Me and James Bond did a barrel pick
James too.
Bond out of Longview. And I'm trying to remember which one that one was. And
You remember the sticker?
I just remember testing it out and picking it. Him and I both had like the same exact notes whenever we tried it. And then
Was it?
it was early on. So
Was it one that got distributed to the group?
I don't even remember that.
Was it a Texas facility?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember where you tasted it?
I tasted it at Cole's office. They mailed us the samples. And Cole was like out of state on a vacation, I think. But he was like, "Man, I trust you. Both y'all have good palates. Like, let's go with it." Okay. But then I don't even remember.
What? It was after Chief Cat.
Yeah, Chief Cattle was one. Was like the first one.
Was it after accident?
I think so. Action Oak was a few later, because we also had. You remember the one that me and James picked? They sent the samples to your office, and you were out of town, I think.
Heck, that. I mean, it's
We've got a rum coming from Privateer.
Oh, sweet.
And
Fried
they're-
proof for 80.
Upper or barrel proof. It is. It was. It could have been in their bottle and bond series. But
No,
I
you're a
said,
big rum person.
I said do it in cast strength so we had less bottles. But they're doing something that we'd never heard of before. They've got somebody here in Texas that will mail it to individuals.
What?
Exactly. So we haven't gotten the link yet. But
Is it? It's not a national group like a Sealback or anything like that.
I hadn't got any link to know where the warehouse is, but she told us that they're sending them here to Texas,
Yeah.
and then they will mail them out to us individually or 6-packs or whatever.
Yeah, Sealback is out of Washington D.C. I mean, they'll ship you bottles.
I've seen them before,
Yeah.
but no, she's saying it's in Texas. I've never heard of it before. I mean, the concept
Right.
of having somewhere in Texas that you just get it sent.
Did we get through the Havana story? I don't.
No.
No, that was
I'll start it over. Do you mind taking one picture of the three of us on my phone?
I need a little more in my drink.
Oh, what do you want?
It's all good. I got it. Let's do it. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Perfect.
Uh,
And then just play around.
all right. Well, you got JT Bellick. You got to try this double oak, man. It's so
We got
good.
the lighter open.
So yeah, I did.
Damn, you're very needy, Travis.
I know.
First, you
You told bathroom break. You told me you were easy. Yeah. Man. What the hell is this? I hope you guys enjoy that. So
that. All right, we'll close. Oh, great.
I'll tell you the story real quick on Fiddler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we even finish the Havana story, I'll set you up. So we do a pick of the fiddler, okay? And I found out about them through a distributor in Louisiana.
Okay.
So we get the samples and we love it. Okay, this rendition is not the rendition that you normally get from them. They do a Georgia Heartwood finished stave, like a cooked stave, and then they ship it, or they put it in the barrel and then they let it sit for a couple weeks, and then they bottle it. Well, anyway, I find out about it from this distributor. He sends us samples. It's a Louisiana pick for the club. So we taste it, we love it. Well, they don't distribute it to Texas. So they have to ship it to a business in Louisiana. So we pay for it online. They ship it to a business, which was a friend of mine, or a friend of my dad, who's a plumber.
Okay.
Ship it to his business. I got to pick up the barrel and all the bottles. Sound familiar?
Yep.
And I drive it back, and it's great. It's a big hit. It's the Joker bottle. Okay. I still have the barrel on my back patio because I had everybody at the distillery sign the barrel, all employees. I wanted every employee to do it, and then I signed it when I got it. And so it kind of concluded everything. What was my second barrel to be the Paul? Well, then I started talking to the sales rep, Chad, and I'm like, hey, we got to get you to Texas, man. Like, this is phenomenal juice. Like, you got to be here. And then he's like, well, by that time, I'd done a couple more barrels, and I knew some distributors, and so I'm like, hey, talk to this guy. He can help you. Next thing you know, they're in Texas. So, kind of help them. Of course, Texas is a huge state. Well, later on, a couple years later, they're rolling. They're starting to get some notoriety in the East Coast, and not so much in Texas or in central U.S. Well, I met a guy in Kentucky that was very influential in a lot of the distribution and stuff like that. I linked Chad up together, and now they're distributing in Kentucky. So, thankfully, Chad's a nice enough guy to where when they have new releases like this, I'll get a box.
That's
Awesome. Every month and a half, maybe 2 months,
Yeah.
I'll get a box. And I shows up and I'm like, what the heck is this? And that's part of that, kind of. I don't expect any of that stuff. Like, I just appreciate the fact that everybody knows I'm going to share it. I'm going to get it in. He sends it to me. I don't know if I should be telling that, Chad. He sends it to me, and I bring it up here in places like this immediately and say, hey, look, try this out. I think you're going to like it. He sent me this one. It was a double O. It was fantastic. And he sent me a Namarata that they just, stuff they try, and looking for feedback. So,
This is something that it doesn't matter what industry that it comes. One person that is a mild lead like you with PCIs is worth 100 people who are an issue.
yeah, for sure.
And I think that's what a lot of our Texas distilleries, they really made that turn on. They made loyal customers go all in, and they were yours and yours fans. They were outcome inspired. They were gonna drink it or buy it at all costs. They're gonna ask their local liquor store where it's at. This is where it's at. And when you've got someone like you that's promoting the brand out here and saying like, oh, hey, let's try this, see what you think. Dude, I'm telling you, I had it immediately before you start talking about it. I recognize every time we get like a special vodka, there's that mouthfeel that's immediately different than everything else you're tasting. This has it.
Yeah, for sure. This one, I shared the Emerald. I brought it up here. It was gone in like 2 nights. This one, I was like, I think I'm gonna drink a little bit more of that myself because it's pretty special. It's pretty good. All right, so take us back to Havana. It's your first booking, right?
Right,
Talk
so-
a little bit about you booked it before it's finished.
Yeah, so we're doing teasers on Facebook at this point because I don't even think we have a website, and we're kind of putting it out there. So Mallory Cox calls us. What was that? Hey, we saw that you got your shoot coming out. We like looking for tonight. My husband, his birthday coming up, and so Jeremy Cox, one of the theater guys, he's having this fan-themed birthday party, and the plan was we were gonna be there by the time he showed up to this surprise party, and all his friends were gonna be there. It's gonna be this big exciting thing. However, the day of the birthday,
Monsoon.
yeah, and we had got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do the finishing touches on the Airstream, right? I think we can now divulge. We have not figured out that wall yet, the caps at both ends. We still just couldn't make it work with all the windows and everything going on. So we literally, at this point, we're like, we have an event today. Like, come hell or high water, we got to figure this thing out and put something together. So we spend the whole day like running through different plans and trying different things. And finally, we are 2 hours before this event. Dude, we just got to figure it out. Just do it something. And even if we
Yeah, hang a painting or something.
And all through the day, you know, it takes a village, right? And so throughout the day, we start picking up extra people. And Andrew Griffith starts coming out. He gets there probably late morning. He ran everybody on his route. He comes in, starts helping us. And then my wife shows up, starts helping. And before you know it, we got 5-6 people out there. And
my father-in-law's there.
his father-in-law, and he may have been the one that gave us insight.
Yeah, and finally was like, hey,
Why don't you just mail all these guys?
so, yeah, unfortunately, we kind of knew the direction we were going. We had started staining wood, but by the time we figured out how we were going to do it, we didn't have beer out. So, at the end of this thing, 45 minutes before the party, we got one person cutting on wood on the saw, handing it to the next person who is staining it, which clearly is not drying, and then is handing it to the next person who is handing it inside the airstream, screwing it to the wall. So, birthday party, we're supposed to be there at this point. You know, we're on the phone like, Mallory, we will be there any minute, so sorry. You know, finally we take all the wood we had cut and stained and put it in a bucket inside, and Travis starts driving. And I am in the Airstream.
What's the section of rotation?
Yeah, we're past any kind of laws on this. Travis starts driving. I'm in the Airstream with an ear gun, a battery, nail gun, putting all the rest of the wood on the 2 end caps. And so he literally pulls into their driveway and is back in here. I'm still like, you know, and then
Pop out. I start talking to him like, oh, well, which way do you want it? We got the door on this side. You know, we're gonna.
And, you know, to this day, I think that's how Travis and I operate. We work best under pressure.
Yeah.
If you give us a year to get something done, we're going to get done in the last 5 minutes, before it's due. Everyone had an absolute blast. They loved it. We still have,
Photos from that night, even like
we had 12 women in the back of the Airstream. They were smoking cigars, having an absolute blast at their birthday party. And we still keep his signed $5 tip in there. Every event we go to is still got Jeremy Cox's signature on it, so they can have a little piece of history.
For sure.
But speaking of the women,
yeah, we've done wine nights where no cigars were even smoked. Where we'll put on whatever they want on the TVs, and they may just tell us to turn it off and sit back there and drink wine and talk. And I mean, we've done such a wide variety of different events with it that it has become part of just so many different memories in so many different pockets. From weddings to golf tournaments to friends, Thanksgivings, where I had to back it through a pinhole over here in Tyler, and was not positive I was going to be able to get it out until the next day. But everybody came out and started helping me back it up into this blind alley, one way, with cars parked everywhere around it. So it's definitely been a lot of fun seeing
people's reactions to how big it actually is.
Yeah.
So different events that we go to, they're like, "Oh, here's a parking spot for you," and we're like,
31 feet long, not counting the truck.
"Yeah,
That's the trailer.
I can only put it so many places."
Right.
Like,
So it's typically when you get a booking, it includes you staying the duration of the
so we're
time. It's not a drop off and see you.
No, yeah, we're working it, or Chris is working it, and for the first 5 years it was Travis Corbett plus employees every single day. We've got a point now where we've got a good group that works for us.
So there's enough bookings to some more to crew.
So, yeah, I guess I told you before we started this, we'd always be an open book and transparent. We started with a bunch of young females as our cigar cutters, lighters, basically our model was going to be, if you were at Mar, what would you expect?
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
This is, we're always going to find the metal, and I can get this same cigar for $5 and 30 bob. Well, you can also go to a gas station, buy a 30 pack,
Right.
and $1 a beer versus, pay $5.
Yeah.
Right?
You just went to here. We're trying to provide an experience.
Yeah.
And somebody hired us to do this.
Yep.
And it's where you're at, right? So I mean,
you don't have to bring your cigars. You don't have to.
It's a huge, convenience, right?
So we started out with, I would say the majority of our young ladies that work for us were probably 22 to 25. And you can imagine with that demographic, when we're working events, we had at one point probably a crew of 30 different young ladies that were on our roster that were booking events because last minute they're about to show up.
Or if we're going to Tyler versus Echo Chili's versus Long,
Yeah.
Thankfully, we've got to the point, we've got a really good partner that we work with, Julie Freeman, modeling agency, which I had worked with in the past 3 ducks appointment and one volunteer inside that.
Yeah.
They're the ones that'll show up and sell raffle tickets.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's been so great working with her because Travis and I, that used to be one of the biggest things we had was making sure he had staff present. And if somebody cancels the last minute, like, how do you look, if we're at a derby party, how do you get someone there in 45 minutes?
they're to retire.
Right? That just doesn't, it's not possible. So, working with Julie has been great because we tell her what we've got, and if we don't take them out of it yet,
Yeah.
she has a core group that works for us regularly, but if they can't show up, she backfills it.
Yeah, she's got a lineup that she could, and then they know the stick before they get there.
Absolutely. So that's something that, one of your earlier shows, they were talking about, here at Humidor, and they like bringing in stuff that you can't just walk in your average tobacco shop and find. They want the more obscure sticks, and that's something that you really tried to do in the shop because we didn't want it to be
Just a ton of the big names. Yeah. We got boutique. We've got some of the big names for those that die hard, purists or whatever that want the big names. But then we have the boutique stuff that we've been able to bring around and get familiar with.
Yeah, introduce people to.
And it's all about the experience and what Cole and I both love is telling the story about it.
Yeah.
So if you can tell a story to somebody about a certain cigar, so I'm actually smoking the Mix Vierda by Dumbarton Tobacco Trust right now. So I'd actually just told Cole not too long ago what it stands for. And for those not familiar, it's my mistress's mistress.
Oh, okay.
And so, in... Do we need to edit that out? But so, in certain parts of the world, those names are common. My mistress doesn't even know about this one.
Yeah.
A mistress is common for some of the cultures. And so this cigar is designed for, nobody else knows this little jewel, this little gem. And so having a story like that, you have a bunch of bachelors in, and you start telling this story, and they're like, yeah, give me some of those.
Right.
And so, or Deadwood Tobacco is another one that has great
great storyline. You know, Caldwell. There's tons of them out there that have great stories that you start talking about, and people start having a connection with it, or start falling in love with that story and the history of it. Same with bourbon, same with any of the spirits. If you start telling them about that's why the sourcing of the grains and the sourcing of the water is so important, is because it gives that nuance, that difference, that story, and bringing that to the cigar world for those consumers. They connect to it, they like it.
Right. Oh, 100%. So, what does a booking look like? So, you've got a website. Obviously, after we get this posted, we'll attach it to the post.
Yeah.
But you do the booking side of things.
Yeah, so a lot of times people are going to they're going to send a request on the website, or they're going to do a phone call. It's going to come to me, and it's going to be, hey, I want to book you for an event. Great, tell me about it. It's not, this is what we call it.
Yeah.
It's, tell me about your event, what your vision is for the event, and then let's see if we can make something work.
Yeah.
And as Travis mentioned earlier, a lot of times it's, oh, we want the hairstyle. Okay, well, cool. Do you have room for 31 feet? What's the tribe? You know, is there an interest to your value? You have HOA limitations. So we talk through logistics. But outside of that,
5 years of experience helps with that, right? 5, 6 years. Yeah.
absolutely. But outside of that, it's more about, hey, what's your vision for this event? What's it about? You know, is this a 50th birthday? Is this for somebody who's a diet or a cigar smoker, or is this something
Just the
that,
theme.
yeah, like they just want to celebrate their 50th. This one once or twice a year, or once in their life. Kind of that background allows us to curate an event that's going to be perfect for that person. And man, it's great. We love doing what we're doing. I mean, this is really Travis and I.
I mean, to smoke cigars and drink bourbon for your part-time job, I mean, it's so hard. Like, how many of us really get to go out there?
Right.
I mean, a few of us get to actually have this kind of luxury as our side hustle or as our second job, or whatever you want to call it, where we can go out there and enjoy our passions
Sure.
with other people and get paid for it.
Right. Right.
So my background is insurance. I'm third generation
Yeah.
insurance agency in Longview, now in Tyler and Hallsville. And you imagine if you're trapped on that elevator and it's like, oh, I'm an insurance agent. You're going to back up against the corner. I don't want to talk to an insurance agent. Right? That's pretty normal. And
Not really. I mean, we've got an insurance agent on.
no, and Colin is great.
Yeah,
He
Colin's
is-
great.
He is an awesome dude.
Fun guy.
Yes. Yeah. He's part of the younger regime. I would say most of us.
But it's second generation too.
Yeah. And I think most of us that are our age in industry, we have learned to relate to people and talk to people.
Sure.
And yes, we're still going to say list managers, but
Yeah.
we're going to do it in a way that's less, dry.
Right.
We're going to make that personal relationship. So all of that aside, we are also one of the hardest nutrition lines that we've ever seen.
100%. Especially here in Texas.
Yes. So the majority of our normal job is butt chewings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Rough.
And it's even if we're at the hero, even if I'm showing you 7 a day, it's usually part of the traffic.
Yeah.
So just out your house. Somebody's in a so this event, or this business, I should say, is all about celebration. And it is such for me, an enjoyable transition from my normal day to day to be able to come provide happiness and joy to people. And we have done everything. Birthday parties, bachelor parties, to wedding anniversaries. I mean, we've done it all. And every single one, it's so special just making those personal connections and being a part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
We love it.
Well, so what do bookings look like as far as, what's the range look like for somebody who's considering having Smoking Aces come out? What does an experience look like?
Yeah, so we have recently added we've always had a Morrison, because the Airstream wouldn't fit everywhere, right? So our cocktail setup is where we come out, be in the back door, or be at a business and set up cocktail tables, a bar. That's $1,500 setup.
Okay.
We've now added an inflatable bar to that because a lot of times they don't have room for the Airstream.
Right.
But we can get one of our inflatable bars and still makes that cool presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got tablecloths in just about every color we could imagine, so that's something else we talk to our customers about is, okay, this coffee for the day, or what's the we want the black and gold, just a nice classy feel, or is this something that we want, bright blue, bright orange? We've got a regular we over here at Tyler with a lot of customers that the company's colors are bright blue, bright orange, and we've got
Customized.
we customize it to them. But so if we bring the Airstream, it's $2,500.
Yeah.
And then with either one of those packages, we have travel. We're coming outside of Tyler. That's kind of our range. It's Tyler to Shreveport. Anything in that hour window, no big deal. Once we go outside of that, we're gonna do some
violations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But each one of those includes 100 custom cigars. So since the majority of the majority of the events we're doing are for a business or for a celebration, we'll do the company logo on there, or we'll do. We've done some pretty entertaining,
Pretty fun.
free mustache rides for
Yeah.
a bachelor party one night.
The Squatch or whatever was the nickname. We've done entry to the Texas Football Hall of Fame. That we've sent some down to Young.
Vince Young, when he got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, we did his sticks. And the other one was you were talking about Randy Swisher. His nickname. He played for University of Houston, and he was just a big dude. His nickname was Sasquatch. So we did his birthday one year.
That's awesome. So
Done
you're giving
corporate events,
you're giving
corporate cigar.
customized events to people that you're getting an experience for what you're doing, and then one of you two guys are there to make sure that everything's followed through. You get staff, right? A couple folks that are going to be helping out with cutting,
For sure.
and helping with setups or cocktails or whatever.
So just like any kind of establishment, all of our staff's going to be trained at the basics of cigars and flavor profiles and things of that nature.
We got
But
equipment. We got equipment failure.
that's cool. But if somebody has an in-depth question, Travis or I, or our buddy Doug, we're going to be the ones answering the more specific questions.
Gotcha.
But everyone on our team is pretty well versed in all the different types of tobacco and flavor profiles.
Yeah.
And so if somebody comes in, and they say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm drinking tonight.
What do you recommend?
Yeah, pick me a stick from that. This is what I like to smoke." They're going to have a recommendation for it. Or if somebody comes in and says, "Look, I have not smoked in 10 years, and the last cigar I had was roll around in my buddy's back seat for about 5 days."
And I was green for 2 days after it.
Yeah. It's funny. We hadn't had to do that in a long time. We did when we first started this, and cigars it was kind of getting back off the ground. We used to keep
Sugar cubes. So, for those not familiar, nicotine gets into the system, and that's what causes you to become green if you hadn't enough or drank enough sugar throughout the day. Sugar will actually go into the system and counteract the nicotine effects.
Interesting.
And so,
Never heard that.
if you start getting a really just super bold, strong cigar, triple arrow, something with just through the roof nicotine,
your blood sugar drops.
and you didn't eat lunch because you were slam packed busy with work and everything else, and you're like, oh man, this even the regular cigar smokers can sometimes go, wow, this one took me off guard.
Yeah.
We would have sugar cubes, and we bring those out and say, hey man, chew on this,
Have
or
one of these.
go grab an orange juice or apple juice or something from the
That's
bar,
cool. Yeah.
and it will turn it around, counteract that, and you'll be right at right.
Yeah.
And so those individuals that were like, oh man, I hadn't smoked in 10, 15 years, I used to always get sick, and you're like, well, look, the underaged cigars or the cheaper quality cigars, those are going to have some of the effects that are less than pleasant.
Yeah.
And or these super strong ones, and we'll steer you away from those. We ask when somebody picks one and they're like, oh, that one looks cool, you're like, well, did you eat lunch today?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they start thinking, oh, it's going to make me sick. You're like, well, no, I'm just making sure that you're prepared for the one that you're pointing at.
Right.
Or we will consultate it and talk to them
Over
about
here in the humidor,
Yeah.
you know, they've got the
Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, oh,
Southern
yeah.
Draw, Jacob's Ladder. It's Triple Harrow, Austin company from Southern Draw, veteran owned and operated. Great company, love their stuff. We've actually done a pairing with them and Brimstone Balcones. And it is we had to find something that was strong enough to stand up against
Right.
the Triple Harrow, Jacob's Ladder.
Brimstone is
and
it.
they Southern Draw actually took their Triple Harrow Jacob's Ladder and upped it with a Brimstone edition.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we paired the Brimstones together from Texas, and it was at Outlaws. And was that the same night that the magazine came? And we had a ton of fun that night, but it was definitely eye opening, and people needed a few sugar cubes that night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So talking more about our events, you know, Travis over here is he is actually an excellent chef. He will not tell you that.
Yeah.
He'd say, "I'm not a chef." But we donate our events to fundraisers, and
Okay,
so we do a lot of dinners that we'll do, and we'll say, hey, look, we'll do a dinner pairing for 12 people. It's all the food, the spirits, and cigars of the pairing. And Travis will kind of curate it, and then him and my wife will cook it, and then Kato will come in and help us kind of facilitate the event, and then I'll do kind of like we do at the Bourbon Society, where Travis will come out, present a
orchestrator,
dish, present a dish, and then I'll history of the spirit, and then when we get the cigars, I'll talk through the cigars, and I can do the front of the house, he does the back of the house. But man, I tell you, that has been so rewarding. I mean, we've typically when we donate one of those dinners, it's raising around $5,000.
Yeah.
And everyone who buys it, when we leave that night, they're always on coming. We've been on a lot of dinners, but this far exceeded our expectations, and it's so rewarding to be able to do that. But yeah, he's an excellent chef too. He won't talk about it, but he is.
Well, he loves rum too.
Yeah.
He introduced me to the Foursquare.
Foursquare.
Yeah, and I've never had it before. We were in Austin, hanging out
Yeah.
after
After the Still Austin, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never had it. You're like, oh, you got to try it. And I'm like, I don't need another passion. It's so good.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, it is very, very good. All right, so what does the future look like? You're obviously these events are probably on weekends, which is you kind of probably maybe have to alternate some of those events or kind of like share each other's calendars type of thing. You go, hey, look, I'm not available on these weekends. I'm not available on these weekends.
And I think the goal for any business is the same. You get a business. We've been doing this a long time. You get a business. You create processes.
Yeah.
You train the people
Yeah.
that meet with you to be able to,
Yeah.
fulfill the vision of telling the story,
Right.
creating the experience. One of the big things that we used to tell all of our people is, what doesn't matter if it's a birthday party or a master party or like, this is what is in our contract. We're going to do what's in our contract. We're going to uphold our end of the bargain. That's the bare minimum. Anything outside of that, when you're having an event, if you can make it special for somebody, do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. So, we do a birthday party. We don't sell alcohol or anything like that. We don't have a problem just cleaning up after people or grabbing drinks. We try and whatever that event is, make it as special as possible. Anyway, if there's a vendor there, we try to help the other vendors because we know we've
We've been on the bottom of the stick before.
yeah, absolutely. And so, I think we've done a really good job of getting people involved that are working for us, that they see that, they have the servant's heart, and as long as you've got somebody on the team that's willing to go the extra mile and make people happy, that's all it takes.
Is that the future goal? Is to kind of like tentatively pass the reins to folks that are going to be on the ground and be the Cole and Travis at these events, and then you guys kind of monitor for quality, get feedback.
Yes, the vision is for Travis and I to show up and for us not to have been the person that pulled the trailer there, done the setup there. You know, we pop in, chickens, kiss babies, make sure everyone's doing their job properly.
It's something you want to be involved in. You're involved in.
We're there. If it's something that we're not really able to make it to because of our own personal lives or whatever, we know that it's handled. And if they have a question, they give us a call or text and say, hey, this is the story on that cigar, or this is what I would pair with that.
Right.
If we've got
Because you can do some pre-work to kind of give them a template of what it could pair well with, food-wise, drink-wise, and you could put your knowledge to work on the template that gives kind of an idea to your customer.
as Cole was mentioning earlier about the tailgate setup, or we've got an inflatable that's another party tent that we do now. Even in the Airstream, I try to have them set up a process.
Yeah.
So you know, okay, far left is going to be your least expensive, and it's going to be your mildest, or whatever concept it is for that particular setup is, hey, you go far left for mild, you go stronger as you go over, or you know, you got your flavored ones over here that are bourbon infused, or you've got your premiums over here, giving them some sort of template so they know where to go for whatever the customer is coming into asking for.
What kind of timeline do you think that's going to be? And
I think we're close.
within a year?
Yeah, within a year for sure. One thing that's helped us out is Travis has joined the family business, and so now with Travis and I working together in our day-to-day, it allows our schedules to align and really, unfortunately, insurance that's always going to be. That's our commitment, right? That's the real job there. So Travis and I are able to say, all right, Tuesday's busier, let's get their commitments, and then tag the other person out. But we have learned so much over these last few years, things that you wouldn't expect. Like when we started this, we've specialized in the boutique cigars now. When we started this, we thought, oh man, you've got to have everything somebody wants to have.
We've got to have all the big names.
Yeah,
We
all
have
the
to.
big names. Otherwise, people are going to get upset.
Yeah.
If you walk into a bar and they say Coors Light, well, you're going to need this if you drink Coors Light, right? And so we looked up one day and we had about 50 grand in inventory, and for a middle salon, that was not. That's not sustainable.
I was just about to ask about storage, but I wanted to talk about. We had already talked about like what it looks like to hand those rates over. So within a year, but what's like storage to me would be a challenge.
So that is the biggest challenge when you're doing a mobile setup. So when we go to an event, we run we call coolers. So we've got our humidor running in the lounge that is a classic, blast out, which you expect. We've got cigars behind the bar that are open that we are regularly rotating out and have that,
But you got to store those somewhere before you get there.
Exactly. So when we go to an event, while we're at an event, all of the excess cigars for that event stay in a cooler. They stay in basically a big white ice chest that's got cocoa packs in there, temperature control. And so that's what allows us to have on any given day probably 15,000 worth of cigars at an event, so that if people want something specific, we got it. Can't put all that on display, but it's like, look, I do want this.
Yeah.
We have a decent
I want a brick
selection.
of it.
Yeah. So, to that, we're never going to be able to do what the humidor has or Tobacco Junction. I don't know, but if I were to guess, I would say Tobacco Junction probably has $2 million tobacco.
Probably.
So you've got to train your staff. Somebody comes in and you want this, you're able to redirect them to this. This is going to be in that flavor profile. So we were able to kind of take our 50 grand and back that down to probably 20 grand. And then one thing that we have realized is we can also kind of do seasonal stuff. So we're running a new line, a boutique cigar. We'll run this for 3 months. And then we're going to transition to a new boutique line that this for the next 3 months, every minute we go to, I'm going to kind of push in. So people get a different experience every time they come in, but we're able to do it without having a ton of inventory backlog that we're having to run. Cool. One thing that we also learned was, look, there's also there's got to be a shelf life on this stuff.
Sure.
If you have something selling good, but you're not going to hold on to that $10 cigar and it's like $10 for it. Like
You gotta have it, figure it out,
yeah,
run through it.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's taking up space to keep it at the proper
Absolutely.
humidity.
It's costing you money.
You know, the proper humidity, the proper temperature, make sure that they're rotating
Yeah, so
around.
when you don't have a booking, it's stored on the
It's sort of the range.
oh, that's okay, gotcha.
You know, which that's one thing we haven't even talked about the ranch. So, do you know where my good buddy Travis went to school? Fighting Texas Aggies over here.
Oh, yeah.
I went to SFA.
Big ag schools, both of us.
Yeah. So we decided a few years ago that we wanted to grow tobacco, and so we grew the first commercial tobacco in Texas, World War II, and the guys in Nacogdoches right now are doing this as well. You know, they got this project going, but we did this years before they not going on the project, and we were talking to them about it and everything. But when Travis and I started this, we thought, he went to A&M, I went to SFA, this is going to be easy. We're going to reach out to our universities. We're going to get somebody on board that wants to see tobacco come back to life in the state of
Let's
Texas.
see the ash.
Yep.
Just like all the different
Yeah.
bourbons and
Yeah,
wines
sure,
and
sure.
everything else in the state.
Got it.
Let's put our Texas stamp on it that we do so well.
Everybody shot us down. And they said, you can't do it. You need to be on the East Coast. You need to be. So Travis and I took a trip down to South Louisiana and where they grow Greek tobacco. And
St. James Parish.
Yeah. Yeah. You would tell the freak story?
So we went down there and we had no expectations. We'd never been to a tobacco plantation. We'd never known anything, seeing it live. You know, we didn't know anything about it. And so Greek tobacco is a very special breed of tobacco, just like the different types of corn, the different varietals of grapes, and whenever you start looking into it as a biology or a scientific aspect, it has more nicotine than any other strain of tobacco. And so we were down there, and this individual paired with Drew Estates, which is one of the largest tobacco cigar producers in the nation and world even. And so he does all of their Pappy Van Winkle Perique blends, anything that has Perique in it, he is the only one that produces it. And so it is bourbon barrel aged down there in South Louisiana, and he has a bunch of different farms that will actually grow it, harvest it, and dry it, and then they'll bring it to him for the fermentation process. And so we got to walk through his whole entire bar, got to see everything from whenever it first comes in all the way to where it's ready to be shipped out to Drew Estates for the roller process. And so it was insane, the different smells that you got to smell, the different process that you got to see, the juices that come off of these leaves as they're being fermented. And I mean, it was mind-blowing to see it in real life.
The Native Americans in that area used to take tree stumps and hollow them out, and then they would put their tobacco down in it, and then they would take a piece of tree that they would cut to cover it, basically.
Weight it.
And they put these stones on it, and they weigh it down, and kept compressing the tobacco and ferment it to obviously make it stronger, make it more potent. And so he replicated that process, and when we walked in, it smelled like a barbecue place, which was the smell that I was not expecting. I was expecting a lot of different smells, but when you walked in, it smelled like barbecue and meat. And that's what that fermented, compressed tobacco smelled like. And he had all these bourbon barrels all along the walls. There were different levels of press that they had been going through.
Railroad jacks that he'd get a couple clicks on it, get even more pressure on it. He'd go to the next one, it'd have a little bit, he'd jack it down a little more. Next one would still be strong, he'd go to the next one. And so you got to see each barrel as he was processing, as he was putting more and more pressure on it. And you'd see the different levels, and he'd open up one of the jacks, and he'd show you, hey, look, this is, X amount of time through the process, this is what the product looks like. And it was amazing.
And so we did that pretty quick after we had started
Growing.
So Travis ordered us 9 different strains of Cuban tobacco and we planted the seeds at the ranch, and we planted them very close together so they could cross-pollinate. And then year after year, now that strain of tobacco is now our own strain of tobacco, and so we have hopes the Cigar Lounge will continue to be a very key piece of the business, but long term, if you're able to sell a Texas grown tobacco to the big names, right? And this guy, keep in mind, we're talking about 50 grand per bourbon barrel, which is approximately like a beaker worth of tobacco. We've got about 200 viable acres out there that we can work with. So for us, the big goal is in the next 4 years to get that. We grew the first commercial tobacco. How do we now turn this into a massive commercial operation to where we're producing 200 acres of tobacco? And I was blown away. Travis, he did an excellent job. He started every year when we start growing them, we have figured out that the best way to do it, which I think that's how I should back up, when everyone told us no, we finally found one guy who was a horticulturist specialist, Dr. Derek Grant. This guy, he got his undergrad from SFA, and he got his doctorate in Minneapolis. And so he had a vested interest in what we were doing, right? And so we reached out to him. Even he wasn't just like, oh, we just did. This guy, he sent us 300 pages. Oh yeah, this is how you do it. And
Read through all of it.
yeah, so Travis and I digested this. We're separately reading the 300 pages over and over and over and over. And we called each other one night. Like, I'll be damned. I think you just treat them like tomato plants, and they're going to do all right. He's like, that's what I got. And so we called there, like, hey, look, this is basically what we got here, 300 pages.
Condense it into one paragraph.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's right. I just want to make sure that you're committed to this before you keep calling me and asking me questions on the jackets. You could have just no. He was very nice to us, but we did find it entertaining. He gave us 300 pages just telling us, "Hey, treat it like the next point. It'll be all right."
Right.
Super heavy nitrogen feeders, and you got to top them all, get them to grow real great. I mean, we've got 6 foot tall plants. Paul actually has in his office one of the first leaves that we harvested. We got it pinned, and it's a reminder every day that there's that level of awesomeness still just waiting to come out. So
There's definitely seeds. Future project in the works. We're smoking aces, right?
For sure.
I love it.
Sure.
and you know, being able to do a rolling class.
Yeah.
We talked about incorporating that with small courses, small classes, getting the guys out that love to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Because there's something special about a bottle that you fill yourself, a cigar that you roll yourself.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has that love of cooking on the grill. That
Yeah.
steak that you cook is
Yeah.
the best steak that you can have.
For sure.
And so, you know, you incorporate all that together, and you sit back and you, after your meal, and you sit and smoke a cigar that you roll. It's just incredibly different than just going to the store and grabbing one.
I've done it a couple times down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a different experience when you got yourself.
Exactly.
And just like you said, just like barrel fill, bottle, barrel. Same with wine.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to help press process. Yeah. Once you get invested, it's
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Very cool, guys. I've really enjoyed this time we spent. We've created a lot of content. You guys are well spoken, and you guys know what you're doing. I love the experience. I haven't been able to experience yet. I need to come to either a Vertical Society meeting where you guys roll up, or get involved with it a bit. You guys are doing, whether that's nonprofit or whatever. Love what you're doing, though. I mean, it's you guys are passionate about what you're doing. You're committed, and it sounds like you're gonna keep on growing and doing some fun stuff. Now, if you listen to my podcast, I like to end the podcast with shout outs. And I didn't prep you for this, but I don't think I crazy prep. It's gonna be you've already dropped a bunch of names. You've got family, you've got folks that are supporting you. But if there's anybody else you want to appreciate, now's the time to do it. I mean, obviously, your wives have to deal with you.
That's what I was going to say. First and foremost, it has to be our wives because out of every project Travis and I have done, even though
Maybe not in the beginning, but
Yeah.
after they come around to it, 100% behind us.
yeah, they might have been frustrated with it, but it never stopped them from supporting us.
Yeah.
And I think every successful business leader run by a woman or a man, there is a counterpart at
Yeah.
that is
Helping, pushing,
yes, helping, pushing, and
believing.
for Travis and I, we both have strong independent women who have their own careers.
Yeah.
And so for women like that to support our vision, it's not like, hey, I'm going to be the housewife and you go be the breadwinner. They both have their own careers, and
Drop of a hat, they're both rolling their sleeves up, jumping in the trenches.
Yeah.
Anything and everything they can do to help us, they're there 110%.
That's awesome.
absolutely. Big shout out to my father-in-law because it seems like every time we have a problem, we call Harold in. You know, he's always there when we need him.
Yeah.
And he's become a cigar guy.
Yeah. That is probably one of the other things that I don't think we've really hit on is the amount of people through our journey that come in with somebody that is a cigar smoker occasionally or regular or whatever, and they're like, oh no, we're not really interested in cigar. I'm not really interested in cigar. I'm just here with them, and being able to offer them a cigar that fits their
Yeah.
palate or their process that they go through, and seeing the light bulb of, oh, well, this isn't just a grandpa thing.
Right.
This is enjoyable.
Yeah.
This is something.
This
that I
isn't just
can't-
a poker club.
Yeah. This isn't something that I can rush through. I have to sit down, enjoy my time with this, enjoy where we are, being in the moment. I can't just, puff this and be out the door and run off to my next endeavor. I have to sit down and enjoy this and be with the people that we're with.
Yeah.
Is something that I think Paul and I both enjoy, seeing that person experience that pause.
Yeah.
Being with us, being slowed down, having to just sit there and go, this is relaxing. This is worth it. This is something that I could really get into.
Yeah. It's awesome. Very cool.
We appreciate you having us.
Yeah,
on.
man. No problem.
Tell our story.
Yeah, I loved
Fun
it.
to
I know we
get
kind of did like a quick sub, but I appreciate you guys' flexibility.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. A great story, guys. I love it. It reminds me of a couple other stories we have here in town. We had the Texas State of Mind coffee guys. And man, it's such a great story. It's something that a lot of people don't know about Tyler and the surrounding areas that got the coffee of Texas in our backyard.
Yeah.
We gotta enjoy it. You guys have a great mobile opportunity that a lot of people probably don't think about whenever they're thinking about these events and landmark kind of things that they're having. I mean, they need to think about this and these experiences because I don't know about you, but I mean I'm not a big thing person. I'm more of an experience person, and I think people need to think about these things whenever they're having these landmark and milestone type deals.
There's one other story I want to tell.
Okay, go ahead.
So, everyone that books us obviously allows us to donate these events to our projects, right? One that Travis and I have been very passionate about. I was actually on the original board for Combat Quarters, Los Texas,
Okay.
when there was 10 of us and we were begging for money. Nobody wanted to be a part of it, and we were having to claw tooth and nail to get every single dollar. Now it's 100 people long waiting to just be a volunteer at the event. It's turning into this awesome, incredible deal. If you're not familiar with it, we bring in veterans to East Texas, train to a height. When we first started this, it was simply, we were having to pay for the flights to Shreveport or Dallas. Or by the time I rolled off, it was a private jet rolling into Gray County. All the gang members were there, the state troopers were there. There was this, 100-car procession that would bring them through all the schools would be out. I feel like next that all of it crowd.
Awesome. Yeah.
So Travis and I, after our roll off tour, I still wanted to be part of it in some capacity. So we came up with an idea that we would surprise the guys each year. It's new guys so they don't know.
Yeah.
Whoever kills the first rear of the fights, they get to go to one special alignment. What tell riddles. And so, they're already on cloud nine because
Yeah.
you'd be surprised. A lot of these
Right.
guys, military guys, you would think they grew up hunting, and that's not the case for a lot of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they shoot this 14-point buck, they are shaking.
Yeah.
Like, nervous to take the shot, ecstatic after the shot. They're on cloud nine. So the next day, hey, you're the first one to get a kill. You're going to go back to a special line. We bring them out to the ranch. We take them on a side by side to the back of the 300 acres, and then we've got our Airstream camoed up. We take the windows off the front and the back. And off one end, we've got a deer feeder, for another deer to come in, and then we have a big open field when you make the pigs. And these guys walk in, you can imagine, like, what is this that you're pulling up on the ranger? And then the camo Airstream is they're walking in. We got music playing that you can't hear from the outside.
Yeah.
There's a good-looking bartender in there.
Oh, yeah,
She's
cigars.
pouring drinks.
Yeah.
We already have, the gun set up at both ends. They're immediately like, what in the world is going on? And the very first year we did this, we didn't really know if we were going to kill anything because, again, everything we do is about the experience.
Right.
Dude, we shot a deer out the one end, we shot 3 pigs out the other, and these guys had an absolute blast and couldn't non-stop talking about it. Continued year after year. It's been a thing.
Yeah.
It's been fun. But to this day, Travis and I always talk about this is one of the most fun things we do. And we could not do that if people didn't buck us, if people didn't, input money in the company. But that's our passion. Is giving back to East Texas. And when we get to do something like that, it is absolutely so much fun. Now it's gotten to the point where we'll do that on a Saturday morning, like Friday, we do that on Saturday morning, and then take them duck hunting. And our duck wine has evolved into the same thing. It's becoming kind of started out as
We do breakfast out there. We do
Yeah.
cigars.
Oh, yeah.
Duck blind, if you're familiar, you don't have to be quiet like you do with duck,
Oh, no.
with deer and hog, and so everybody gets kind of cut up, tell their war stories, and to be able to experience those stories from these guys is just insane. How they're fighting for our country, and hearing their stories and some of the close calls that they're danger close on, and you really sit back and you're thankful for the ability to be able to give back to those guys that are out there fighting for us.
Yeah, we've had a couple vets on already, and both of them had, moments where they had to pause or kind of collect themselves.
Yeah.
And then both of them talked about dark times
Yeah.
that where they needed somebody to reach out.
Exactly.
And maybe they reached out at the right time, or maybe they had somebody, and it could have been a small interaction too. Both of them had small interactions at their
Darkest.
lowest time.
Yeah.
And at those small interactions,
Turn yourself.
saved them.
Yep.
And both of them are doing awesome now. So, I again love what you guys are doing. It sounds like you're having fun doing it too.
Yeah.
And staff's having fun, and the folks that get to experience that are having fun. I wish you the best. I hope that you stay booked. Your tobacco farm explodes. I can't wait to go out there and roll a cigar. So please keep me in mind
For sure.
whenever you guys get that started, and definitely want to visit soon for sure.
We should get together with all the previous podcast visitors and we've done
special.
we've done cigars and coffee before. We've done-
on site Spirit Squared. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll get it together. We'd love to do something.
Cool. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you
having
guys' time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
All right. So that concludes our podcast with the Smoking Aces. It was so fun having you guys on. And so we've got 3 podcasts in November. Our next guest is next week, so we've got one coming pretty quick. We're going to talk about political analysis, which is something we don't typically do, but we had a pretty big election last night. A lot of results came through. You know, depending on what side you're on, it was either a really good night or it was a really rough night. So, looking forward to talking about some of the results and some of the things that are going to be rolling out here in the next couple of weeks. So, I look forward to having you guys come back to us soon. Thanks.
All right. You got it.
Very cool.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a political analyst, and then we go out to New Holler who do a show at with the owner at the store, and where he talks.